First question is from Andy Costco with the Baltimore Banner.
Hey Andrew, welcome to Baltimore. I appreciate you making time for us. Start off immediately with kind of like a pitch mix, pitch arsenal question. But I'm curious, in 2022 and 23, sinker was a little bit more predominant for you. Then last year we saw that slider again kind of take center stage. What stands out about your slider? What makes that kind of your go-to pitch? And how do you instead maybe play the sinker off of it instead of have your sinker as the primary pitch?
I think it's just honestly, it's a trust and feel thing that I've developed over the years with the slider. It's just seemingly, obviously there's occasions where it's not a good out, or I don't have a good outing with it or whatnot. But I think it's just a pitch that I just rely on and trust. I trust that it's going to be there even more so than the sinker. So when in doubt, that's what I want to get beat with. But yeah, that's kind of the thought process on the slider. I think they pair really well together, and it kind of just depends, on a given day, which one's feeling better at the time.
Next question is from Rock Kabaka with MASNsports.com.
Hey, Andrew, do you feel like you kind of got to know the organization from all those years facing them with Tampa? And what's been your perception of it from a distance?
Yeah, I mean, spending majority of my career in that division, with the exception of last year, I do feel like I'm fairly familiar with the organization and how they do things, and it's been cool watching from a distance to see kind of the turnaround that they've made in the last couple of years. I don't remember. I think it was 2021 when I was with Tampa. We won 18 out of 19 against the Orioles, and then 2 years later they got the best record in the American League. So pretty cool to watch, the turnaround that the organization's made, and just competing for the American League every year, and hopefully, hopefully this year we're competing for the American League again, and then beyond that. So,
Next question is from Stan Charles with Press Box.
Andrew, welcome to Charm City. Question about your career trajectory. Looking at your numbers, and I have always had a supposition about Tampa Bay and how they develop pitchers, but your minor league numbers weren't jumping out overly impressive in Seattle with the Mariners. But as soon as you got to Tampa, it seemed like something clicked. Was it health, or is it a secret sauce that they have in developing pitchers?
I mean, maybe it's a secret sauce. I don't know. I think they do a really good job there, of just putting guys in good positions to succeed. And the message is really consistent. They want you to be yourself and do what you're really good at. That doesn't always mean you need to add pitches or different things or change things. But, I think they just put you in a really good spot to succeed. And then I think at that point in my career, I had figured out a lot of ways that it didn't work, and some things did just kind of happen to start clicking. Hearing things in a different message, things maybe that I had heard before, but just hearing them a different way, and maybe kind of resonating a little bit more with me. So, a lot of credit definitely goes to Tampa and the way they do things there. I don't think I'd be in the position I'm in now if it wasn't for the years that I spent there with Kyle Snyder and Rick Knapp and some of the brilliant pitching minds that they have down there. But I feel like I've kind of I know myself pretty well now from my experiences there, and hoping just to move forward and continue to hopefully have some success.
Next question is from Matt Wayridge with the Baltimore Sun.
Hey Andrew, welcome. I'm curious, what about the Orioles was kind of felt like a good fit to you in free agency? And I'm curious, did you talk to Kyle Gibson at all about his time in Baltimore?
I did actually talk to Gibby. He reached out, congratulating me on the deal, and had nothing but great things to say about the organization. So I was excited, hearing from someone who's been here recently to kind of know that the clubhouse is in a good spot, and there's a strong desire to win here, and there's an expectation to win here. So a lot to be really excited about. There was familiarity with the East. My wife and I have kind of almost become East Coasters just, by virtue of being over there. But, there was a lot to like. And then, the young talent that this organization has and the direction that they've been going is really exciting. So, at this point in my career, I want to win. I want to contend. And this was a really good opportunity for me to do that.
Next is Rich Dubroff with Baltimore Baseball.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew. Most of your career, you've worked sort of in the eighth inning. You haven't been a ninth inning guy. Have the Orioles talked to you? Have Mike and Brandon talked to you about your role and where you might be most comfortable?
Not too much. I did talk to Brandon a little bit, and I think there's just a lot of excitement for the bullpen in general. The arms that we're going to have down there. Hopefully with Bautista being back and healthy, from the sounds of it, everything's looking good on that end. So, I think I've always kind of just had the attitude of, use me where you want to, and I'll try to do my best to be ready at any situation. And I expect to be in the mix there late in games, but also, I'm willing to do whatever is needed. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's what, I kind of have a little bit of experience, all over the map as far as innings, whether it's early, late, in between. But yeah, just really kind of prepared to do whatever.
Just a reminder for media to enter your name in the chat if you have any questions for Andrew. Next is Jake Brill with MLB.com.
Hey, Andrew, after Tommy John surgery and not pitching much for Tampa Bay there at the end, I mean, was last year a big confidence boost for you in St. Louis, just for yourself to know that you still can pitch at a high level and that you were able to bounce back like that?
Yeah, and even going back to right after the surgery, I think it was really important for me to get in, at the end of 23 there a little bit. I think I only threw like 12 or 13 innings or something like that. But that was a huge, hurdle just to get back and know that the arm is going to hold up and I can still do this. And then building off that, I think that just allowed me to hit the ground running heading into spring training last year. And then was able to, finish a full season healthy and felt really good throughout the whole thing. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Tommy John, I feel like feels behind me, like something that, is kind of over and done with. And now I'm just back to being a normal pitcher.
Back to Stan for one final question.
Andrew, I didn't look it up exactly, but you rubbed elbows with Charlie Morton, didn't you, in Tampa? And
Yeah.
I just thought maybe you'd have an insight for us on what he brings to the table.
Just a fierce competitor. Charlie is all business when it comes to baseball. I mean, it's I have a really good memory of a wild card game that he pitched in Oakland. I think it was 2019. And just that atmosphere there in Oakland was electric. It was one of the loudest places I had been at that time in my career, and it was just fun to watch him compete and almost seemingly just kind of outcompete his opponent. But that's what he brings. I mean, he's intense, but he's focused, and he's a great guy to have in the clubhouse. He's a little quieter, he's a little reserved, but when he speaks, it kind of speaks volumes. So he's a great guy to have around, for leadership, but also just someone who's been there and been doing it for a really long time.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, everyone. Thank you, Andrew. I know we're all looking forward to meeting you, and we'll see you in Sarasota soon.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thanks,
having me.
everyone.